Chris Tucker might have been happy with the solitude, but after seeing Katt Williams' recent viral interview, he was blown away. Some of the biggest stars in comedy, such as Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, and Cedric the Entertainer, were shown for what they were on the Friday after next star. Unfortunately, Katt Williams claims that Chris Tucker was also taken off the chopping block. Tucker was one of the many individuals who took a plane to Epstein's island in the past. By associating with the Hollywood elite, Tucker may have believed he was moving up the success ladder. Years later, however, it appears that Tucker's choice to surround himself with people like Jeffrey Epstein's early career death. Katt claims that things aren't clear-cut and that rumors are circulating that Chris was silenced by powerful people. Speaking the harsh truth about Hollywood has been Katt Williams' responsibility for years. He recently expressed the same ideals on the Club Shay Shay podcast. All platforms have seen a spike in popularity for the interview clips as Katt brings attention to the names of some significant figures. Chris Tucker, unfortunately, was also shown to be one of the several comedians who had sold their souls to the Hollywood devils. Shannon Sharpe, the podcast host, and Katt talked about why Friday movies were never produced again in their conversation. Chris Tucker, Ice Cube, and John Witherspoon were among the top actors in the 1995 premiere of the American Stoner movie. All of the cast members returned for the 2000 follow-up. However, Chris Tucker was absent. However, fans who were hoping for a third film were pleased with how well the sequel turned out. Sadly, that never occurred, and Katt is laying out the reasons why now that decades have passed. He claimed that John Witherspoon's tragic passing in 2019 was one of the causes. The comedian's death from a heart attack was unexpected, and no one could have been a suitable replacement. But there were other factors as well. They lost many greats, but they didn't lose Chris Tucker, Katt clarified. Fans, meanwhile, might want to set aside their expectations because, in Katt Williams' opinion, the Chris that plays Smokey in the 1995 cult film is not the Chris that exists today. He's the Epstein Island Chris Tucker, as Katt Williams put it. Katt isn't twisting the facts, despite the appearance that he might be doing so to gain notoriety. The comic is not the first to mention Chris and Epstein in the same phrase. Easily the biggest blow to the Hollywood elite of the 21st century has been dealt to Jeffrey Epstein's case. The American financier was detained for his crimes in July 2019, but he died in his bars 1 month later. Epstein committed suicide, according to the autopsy records. Yet, information concerning Epstein's human trafficking networks continues to surface years after his death, keeping his name in the news. Epstein transported prominent politicians, attorneys, and Hollywood stars by plane to his island for many years. It so happens that Chris Tucker is one of them. Actor Kevin Spacey and former President Bill Clinton accompanied the comedian when they stepped onto Epstein's private jet in 2002. These men had gathered, on paper, for a humanitarian trip around South Africa, visiting charity project sites for a week under the auspices of the Clinton Foundation. Fans couldn't help but wonder about the strange coupling, though. What exactly was Chris's business with Spacey and Clinton, for example? Their origins were in distinct universes. Kevin was a well-known actor, but after Anthony Rapp accused him of acting inappropriately in 2017, his whole world fell apart. Bill Clinton, meantime, has a few skeletons in his closet. The former president has been accused of sexual assault by multiple women over the years. In addition, after the 2010 earthquake in Haiti, Bill and Hillary Clinton became involved in an abduction case. Chris was a stickout like a sore thumb. Fans believed that he had no connection to any of these people. Fans had a lot of questions for Tucker considering the issue. Was he indeed on the plane to carry out the humanitarian mission? Or were there other activities taking place that the public was unaware of? Remarkably, in a 2021 interview with All Urban Central, the Rush Hour star jumped to set the record straight. He said the actor had no idea he was on Epstein's private jet. He had no idea what was going on behind closed doors and had just met Epstein and Spacey for the charitable tour. When questioned straight out if he had ever been to Epstein's island, Tucker vehemently denied having ever done so. Fans can't help but question his response, though. They noticed that Chris's answer to the inquiry was an uncontrollable fit of laughter. Fans are giving Chris the side eye for smiling right now, considering all that Jeffrey has been accused of. And that's not all. Additionally, fans drew attention to Tucker's use of the pronoun we to refer to both Epstein and him. The fact that he mentioned that he knew him and that we flew a lot of people around all the time implies that he was referring to Epstein and himself, a fan stated. I did not say that. He did. How long did Epstein and Tucker work together as a team? Was it a simple error that meant nothing, or did Chris make a mistake and dig his own grave? Additionally, it has since come to light that the Boeing 727 Chris boarded was, in fact, routinely utilized to transport young girls and prominent clients of Epstein to his homes, hence its nickname, Lolita Express. Tactics in the Manhattan trial of Epstein's right-hand man, in this case, Ghislaine Maxwell. The pilot of the Boeing 727, Larry Vossi, provided testimony. Maxwell groomed juvenile females and gave them to Epstein, playing a crucial role in Epstein's human trafficking operation. A British socialite, who was arrested in 2020, faces life in prison after being charged with several felonies, including trafficking minor girls for the deceased sexual criminal. Larry said that from 1991 to 2019, he piloted over 1,000 missions for Epstein. Larry did not witness any evidence of sexual behavior aboard the plane during his stay there. All of the notable people who boarded the aircraft, including Chris Tucker, Bill Gates, Kevin Spacey, and Prince Andrew, were noted by him, having stated that there is additional evidence against Chris that connects him to Epstein and the infamous island. A federal judge's decision earlier on January 3, 2024, resulted in the public release of a fresh set of court records that included the identities of over 150 prominent clients and celebrities who visited Epstein's island, Little Steve James. At least one of Epstein's most well-known accusers, Virginia Giuffre, provided the names, although they had been sealed for years. Among the celebrities mentioned in the records are Cate Blanchett, Chris Tucker, Michael Jackson, Bruce Willis, and Cameron Diaz. But some information is still classified. And that's not all. Despite Chris's best efforts, this material might be against our content guidelines. Please share your thoughts if you think this is incorrect. They will be helpful to our research. The story claims he never set foot on the infamous island, but the evidence points to the contrary. Sean Davies wound up on the Lolita Express as an air hostess back in the day, but Davies was attacked by Epstein a few days after he was employed. For the television documentary Surviving Jeffrey Epstein, Davies related her horrific ordeal years after the occurrence. Davies acknowledged that she was the air hostess for the aircraft where Kevin Spacey, Bill Clinton, and Chris Tucker were photographed posing with Epstein workers in an interview with The Sun. Fans have a picture of Tucker grinning widely with John Lynn, Epstein's cleaner. Photographs of Epstein's personnel have also included Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and his spouse Sarah Ferguson. If Tucker was on the plane merely to carry out the humanitarian initiative, then why was he posing with Epstein's housekeeper? And don't believe that's where it ends. Consider it again. Chris's tight friendship with Michael Jackson is just one of many unanswered concerns surrounding him. There's no denying Chris and M. Jackson friendship, but Katt Williams claims the two were more than just best friends. He brought up how MJ used to refer to Chris as Christmas and made oblique references to a darker story that fans were unaware of. M. Jackson was identified as one of Epstein's customers in the recently disclosed records, which further escalated the scandal. Because of his intimate relationship with the late artist, Tucker has come to be perceived differently by fans. Although Chris insists he has never been to Epstein's island, some admirers think Chris did wind up there. They believe, nevertheless, that he saw some disturbing things, which is why he was kept silent.